Hi guys, my name is Noni Madikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the procedural trap that is happening in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Okay, in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, a subtle but explosive technical battle is unfolding. A battle not about emotions, not about speculations, but about the rules of evidence. And this time the danger lies squarely at the feet of the state. Firstly, the setup of everything, right? Advocate Mnisi never led Gwabini on the contents of any statement. Not a single paragraph, not a single word, not a single line, not even a confirmation that such statement exists. In law, that matters because once a witness has not adopted a document, the state carries an even bigger burden before touching its content. Secondly, the law. The rule is simple. You cannot cross-examine a witness on material that has not been admitted into evidence. No proof of existence, no authentication, no confirmation. The witness wrote it, nothing. Until the state lays the foundation, the so-called statement is legally just paper, a rumor, a document floating in limbo. The state's problem, but the state wants to cross-examine. That's point 3 now. The state's problem, the state wants to cross-examine Gwabini as if the statement already exists in law, as if its contents are already proven, as if the court has already ruled. It hasn't, and that creates a serious procedural problem. One could taint the cross-examination, undermine credibility testing, and trigger constitutional objections. Because without proving the statement first, cross-examining on its content becomes 1, procedurally irregular, 2, legally defective, 3, and potentially unconstitutional. Number 4, the consequence. If the court agrees, the defense could move to strike questions invalidate the line of cross-examination or argue that the state violated the rules of confrontation. In a trial already marred by irregularities, this is the kind of mistake that echoes far into appeals. I don't think Judge Rata understands every time he tries something or agrees on something with Ubaloyi, there is always more detail that will make the case be appealable. I don't think he gets that. I don't think he understands those parts of everything as Mr. Know-it-all. I don't think he does because mostly he is always leaning on the state side, but whenever he does that leaning, there is always an outcome in him leaning on the state side forever. As always, there is always an outcome of we can appeal, use that part only. I don't think he has realized that because that's what he does. Every day there is always some reason for that will show irregularity, unfairness, bias, etc. in that courtroom. And that counts for appeals. That counts for appeals. I don't know this fight that Baloyi is putting up is for what? Because yes, Judge Rata may find the guys guilty on whatever that he finds them guilty on. But what Judge Rata can't do is to, once the case goes for appeal, then that means there is no case that has been won. It may look like they've won, but guess what? We are still going to follow it through appeal. And then still it's going to be on national television that, no, actually, he was wrong. Imagine that. Mr. Right becomes Mr. Wrong. Imagine that. Do you understand that? So I don't know ukuthi Ubaloyi or even Judge Rata, how are they going to deal with the law side of things, and how they are going to because there is no foundation laid for the statement. There's no authentication, no confirmation of authorship, no admissibility ruling yet, nothing. But Baloyi is already trying to do a cross-examination on that statement. And there are no questions that were asked by the judge After asking him to prove the statement, why didn't he ask him why is it difficult? Because Umnisi even offered if he doesn't know how to prove a statement, then we can assist him. Why Ujadrata then did not ask him, what is the problem, Mr. Baloyi? Why can't you prove the statement? Before going for arguments, what are we arguing? That's another point. What are we arguing? What are the arguments for? What exactly are they for? And today we'll find out all of those details. We will hear why are we arguing, because I don't know. As I was watching, I did not understand, just like Mnisi. And I'm hopeful that Uramsipile did not sleep. This weekend, he was busy putting his arguments. I hope Umshololo is also back. I hope Umamalo also puts in his very own, because they are all brilliant. For me, they are all brilliant, but the last time they did arguments, Ramasipile, damn it, damn you, Malina. Ramasipile was on point. He was quoting authority after the other. And if he does that, we will forgive him for that question that he asked. Is it a ruling or what? An order by the court? We will forgive him for that. But where we are standing, all is well. He's good when it comes to arguments. Even Ramsipili, with who sometimes have a shaky voice, is good with arguments. Baloyi, I don't know what he is arguing, honestly. I honestly don't know what he is arguing. But Ramsipile is so great. I'm looking forward to them arguments, even though that I don't understand. Why? Because already, yet the state wants to confront Gwabini as if the statement already exists in law. And seemingly, this is a serious problem for the prosecutors, because without first proving the existence, authenticity, and authorship of the alleged statement, any attempt to cross-examine its contents becomes very irregular, procedurally irregular, legally defective, potentially unconstitutional. And that alone exposes the state to a possible exclusion of evidence, striking of questions, or even improper cross-examination findings on appeal. Do you understand when I say there's always something that they bring in? Whenever they try to do these things, there will always be something that they bring in that will make the case look bad in appeal. But yeah, time will tell. I don't know. This case is something, it's something else. The Zinzo Mewa case is something else, I tell you. It is something else. Absolutely something else. I don't know how Ramosipile, Mnisi, Mshololo, Nomalo, how do they cope with such a workplace? Because they are always there every day, and that means that's their daily workplace, and it's toxic. Oh, it's toxic, Shem. It's like you have that manager that is always shouting at you, and you don't know when you do wrong or right. They are always seeing something wrong with you all the damn time. It looks like that workplace that is like that. And then there's a Baloyi who's gonna be calm there, saying things like, even in his calmness, guys, we can see the nervousness. I don't know if you understand. Even him trying to remain positive in the face and being calm. But when the judge said, prove the statement, he was like, excuse me, my lord. He was shocked. And then he started, he could not, he failed dismal to prove a statement, guys. Literally, he failed. He could not prove the damn statement. There was absolutely no proving of the statement. There was nothing he could come up with at the time. Even when Mnisi said, well, you need help, just shout. He couldn't. He couldn't. And that exposed him that he has no questions for Gwabini either. He has absolutely no questions for Gwabini. And I don't want to lie, at this point, I'm even curious what's in that statement, since they said Gwabini told us that I told them to transfer something from Muzi's statement to mine. When they say Muzi said something about me, I must say something about him. And then I said to them, no, it's fine then. If he said something, Ubafo, transfer from mine, from his to me. I wonder what did they write? I wonder if the S signature is going to be there. Because he was quite honest, Ugwabini, of the things that he did. He was quite honest and he said um, he did that because he was tired of being beaten up, the way he was beaten up and the way they dealt with him. He just wanted to be out of there. He just wanted to be out of there. And glory to God that he did not die in those beatings, I say the graveyard beatings. The glory to God for that, because wow, Sanalam. Oh, what a wow. What a wow. These people, the things that they put these guys through, yeah, shame. Icona. Icona. Yo. Anyway, guys, let's talk a comment section. I want to hear your views. I want to hear what do you think about Baloyi, the arguments, whatever. Let's talk. I want to hear from you. Bye-bye.